Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of FitzRupee Cast featuring DoW2 Retribution. Red-Rupee here with you as always, calling the shots for you tonight. And I know it's been a week since my last cast. Oddly enough, having an active social life and some rather, I guess, stereotypically geeky hobbies doesn't always round itself out perfectly. But anyways, I'm here with a quick cast for you today, and I'll have probably another one up tomorrow too. For those of you looking for more content, I did do some live streaming on my Twitch TV account last weekend, so go check that out. A few hours worth of Elite Mod games over there. We had Dark Riku come out, take on several challengers, and just some other various one-on-one battles from the Elite Mod, so pretty good stuff there. Check that out. I'll be putting a link up to that, of course. Also, we have an Elite Mod one-on-one tournament coming up tomorrow, run by Carnivore, I believe, or one of the fellas over there that's been very active in the Elite Mod scene. I believe it's Carnivore. So I'll link the GameReplays.org thread so you guys can go check that out and follow that as you'd like. Someone should be casting that, I believe. I'm not, unfortunately. I do have a prior engagement, but I will be sure to be checking in on that myself. So I'm sure there'll be some great games for that going on. And anyways, let's take a look at what we've got today. As you can see, I've just been kind of roaming around doing some flybys on Siwal Frontier. We've got two great players tonight. Mr. NoisyElmo on the blue side. Haven't seen him in a long time. One of my favorite players from back in the day, playing the Imperial Guard Commissar Lord, or Lord Commissar, however you want to do it. And then the Farseer on the red side, played by Warp, with the Craft World All the Way skin over there. So let's see how this plays out. Get this game on the road. And Siwal Frontier, one of my favorite maps, actually, as Tech Marine, of course. But it's got a couple key garrison points right here. Has the treasure belt down the center with all the resources and VPs, and then the natural power on either side, pretty much right in front of the base. Easy to defend, but at the same time, this map has pretty straight shot just running right across the map. Nice open terrain, lots of green cover to just run around and head straight to the power farm and get some quick damage in. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Warp and NoisyElmo both pulling two range squads on the field. NoisyElmo with his guardsmen, Warp with his guardians. Let's see how many times I get that mixed up this game. And despite, of course, two range squads for either side, it's very much not a homogeneous build. The Guardians play very differently than Guardsmen, and I would hope to see some battle equipment relatively quickly, because otherwise these Guardians are going to bleed very rapidly. I'd be surprised if NoisyElmo didn't get himself a Sentinel, but he popped his node first, and oh no, he's dropping generators very quickly, so I doubt we will see a Sentinel. So NoisyElmo going for fast tech, apparently. Warp dropping pretty standard 2 generators for Eldar. I'm sure we'll be seeing a Shuriken weapon team come on the field relatively soon. Now we have, looks like, one Sarge on the field already for the Guardsmen. NoisyElmo's Commissar kind of running down, having a one-on-one duel here with the Farseer down bottom. I'm not sure, it looks like the Commissar is going to win that. Of course, he does have the default shield, so probably absorbed a lot of that damage before he started losing any actual health. Anyways, Guardsmen kind of ducking down behind green cover here, whittling away at these Guardians, and it looks like they're actually going to win as well. Commissar chasing off that Farseer, 1 or 2 hits away from taking her out, but he's not going to be able to pull that off, I don't think. Shuriken is coming onto the field. 3, 4 Guardians now going down. Needs to pull those out. Warp barely gets a squad of Guardians out of there. These Guardsmen so very low, but hiding behind green cover, and now getting a Sarge on the second squad as well, so getting another little boost in vigor right there as the Imperial Guards fight off this Eldar threat right here. Commissar coming in with the flank and forcing the Guardians off permanently. Heavy weapons team, so actually we are seeing kind of the same build so far from either player. Heavy weapons team now coming out. So we'll both have 2 range squads, 2 suppression setup teams on the field. No VP change really yet, 500 to 487. Everyone's trying to get, now that NoisyElmo's pushed Warp off the field, trying to just get some map presence here, get some wreck and extra power down here. Finding a good spot to set up this heavy weapons team. And Warp actually, most of the time you don't go Banshees as Eldar simply because there's so much range damage coming from IG. And if there's a Sentinel on the field, it's rare that you can even get them into any good kind of position anyways. So I would kind of like to see some Banshees in this matchup, though, because without the Sentinel and a heavy weapons team on the field, some Warp Gates and some sneaky stealth Banshee play could really do some damage to NoisyElmo. Warp's now opting, though, for some Rangers. Oh, the Farseer just barely not getting out of that arc. She was right about here when she got open fire on from that heavy weapons team. So we're probably expecting maybe some catechins or something like that, hoping to pick off members. But now this heavy weapons team will serve nicely as well. You really don't want Rangers wasting shots on Guardsmen. They are just shows cheap that you'll never even really get your worth out of Rangers on that. Just on Guardsmen alone, because with them reinforcing 2 for 12, 3 for 12 later on, it just doesn't even matter when they lose models. But that kinetic shot and, of course, the sniping itself will be great for that heavy weapons setup team. You can see a turret, actually 2 multi-laser turrets set up on either side. Both Guardians now upgraded with their battle equipment, and hopefully we'll be seeing some energy shields go down here. That'll really help out with this kind of thing. Getting the energy shield up despite being under fire from the Guardsmen and the multi-laser turret, so that's pretty surprising, actually.
Go ahead, sir.
Farseer engaging some Guardsmen up top, while the Shuriken and the Rangers kept in the middle of the map. Commissar Lord charging ahead, has his power sword upgrade, so he has sort of a battle cry-esque ability that increases his speed. Man, Guardian's going flying there as he whacks away there with his power sword. A well-placed grenade might be able to finish off this Commissar Lord. It looks like it's going to connect. Oh, very low HP. Will the Rangers be able to get that last shot off? Yes, they do. Sniped on the edge of their firing range right there. Now the Guardians in position to do some damage to these stranded Guardsmen. They should fall back and really get in range of this multi-laser turret. I'm not sure why NoisyElmo's fighting so far forward when he could fall back here and use this multi-laser turret to really whittle away at these Guardians more. Rangers actually moving in here and meleeing. Oh, how often do you see this? There aren't many squads that Rangers could beat in melee. You can see the 2 non-sniper members do have some little power swords there. But Guardsmen actually will go down. Unfortunately, oh man, just in time getting the kinetic shot off there. There was Rangers now engaging heavy weapons team in melee as well. And trying to continue harassing these heavy weapon team members up here. Oh man, Farseer went down up top though as NoisyElmo heads into tier 2. Warp's not going to be too far behind, but going to be a little bit there. Rangers continuing to do some damage to this heavy weapons team. I'm just excited to see Rangers in melee combat. That's pretty funny. I don't think I've seen that used ever. But oh no, the heavy weapons team getting set up, doing some damage, but they're going to just retreat anyways. Guardians did manage to take out the multi-laser turret down here. Getting the cap, and now looking pretty good in VPs for Mr. Warp right now. Or sorry, Mr. NoisyElmo. He's actually up by quite a bit, about 150 points here. Warp getting himself some stuff here at the last minute. And not really reinforcing, just using this squad to run around and cap in the meantime. Shuriken weapons team trying to find a good spot to set up here. Doesn't know quite where that Commissar Lord is, and you can see the Commissar just hanging out behind this hoodoo, figuring out where he wants to go. He's outside of the arcs. Hopefully he stays back there. And yeah, that Shuriken's already spotted him, knows he can't engage it. Gonna probably hop inside of this garrison and hang out there for a little while. Seek some shelter from this melee menace, the Commissar Lord. And now the Rangers there are gonna start peppering away with some sniper fire. Oh, they should. I feel like they probably should have been firing at that Commissar Lord, but instead choosing to take off one of those Guardsmen. Commissar Lord realizing he's not going to get out of that suppression and falling back immediately. So NoisyElmo going pretty late on tier 1, but holding on pretty well. Has the VP advantage. Went for those supportive multi-laser turrets to kind of keep those Guardians from getting the decap. It's really excellent deterrent for Eldar, those multi-laser turrets. If they can't get something set up easily, they will whittle away at those Guardians or whatever hero is sent out there to cap. So Fleet of Foot being activated, looks like Warlock's coming on for both of those squads. They're either going to get behind for some grenade tosses or just go in and start meleeing. Oh no, there goes a grenade. What happened there was he probably clicked on the edge of this trying to get a grenade maybe right about here. But if you click on cover at all with a grenade throw, what will happen is that grenade will land like you saw right in the middle of that cover. Anyways, heavy range battle going on here. Stormtroopers, Guardians, and Guardsmen all shooting back and forth. Guardians, you can see both pop their Warlock ability. Man, I can't think of the name of it right now, and I feel terrible for it. Oh no! Farseer charging in against these stormtroopers. Rangers still picking off guardsmen left and right, getting little sniper shots in here and there. Farseer manages to pick off one of those stormtroopers on retreat. And a Manticore now coming onto the field. So that Manticore is going to be, of course, a big nuisance for any setup teams. Of course, the Shuriken being the only one on the field right now. Honestly, I feel like NoisyElmo may have been more effective if he had gone for maybe some Ogrins or something at this point, as Warp has pretty much exclusively a ranged army right now, so those Ogrins could really charge in with the help of the Commissar Lord and do some nasty stuff to these guys. Anyways, I'm sure this Manticore will still be effective. It's always nice to have the Manticore when you have the VP lead, too, because you can really use that to lock down VPs and stop VP caps. Oh man, autocannon getting upgraded right there, and a Manticore shot coming down on that Shuriken. The heavy weapon team, you can see, upgraded with that autocannon, doing some nice damage to that Shuriken weapon team in addition to the Manticore strike right there. Warp Spiders coming onto the field for Warp right now. And that's actually going to be kind of dangerous for this Manticore. A Haywire Grenade and even just some hits from the Warp Spider XR can really do some damage and take out that Manticore relatively easily. They are so very frail. And of course the Farseer herself has the very excellent heavy melee Singing Spear, so a couple swings from that. That Manticore is going to have to be very close staying this far out from the base once Warp gets some counters out for it. And I actually really like Manticore play with the Lord Commissar in general. Oh man, where's that going? Oh, it looks like we're going to have some cheese going down. Manticore striking on the power farm. That's always very obnoxious. But I mean, if you've got the opportunity, if you've got the shots, keep firing that Manticore. Do some damage somewhere. Guardians finally getting the flank on this multi-laser turret. Going to take down that top multi-laser and finally be able to get the VP for themselves. Unfortunately, one Guardian goes down and they exchange it for a Stormtrooper over here. Commissar Lord executing one and buffing the squad, charging headlong into them, activating his special ability and causing some heavy damage to those Guardians. So Commissar found himself a bit out of position there. You can see Warp just reacted very quickly with all of his ranged firepower, forced that Commissar back. Where are we having that Manticore strike? Oh, again on the power farm. Looks like he finally took out a couple generators that time. Really think that could have been more effectively used up here. This heavy weapons team in a lot of trouble. 15 HP left. Oh, 2 HP. And he gets away. Oh my goodness. Very fortunate for NoisyElmo. Now bringing a Chimera on the field as well. 2 grenades going down, probably expecting those guardsmen to fall back a little more, but they pulled off at just the right moment. Still losing lots of members, though, to all these Guardians. Gonna have to be very careful with this Manticore. I wouldn't... the Singing Spear, he could get it right now if he wanted to. I'm not sure what Warp's saving up for right now. But that Manticore's in a nasty spot. These Warp Spiders need to get over here and do something about it. They unfortunately don't have their aspect upgrade yet, so they don't have their Haywire Grenade. A bit of a misstep. I'm not sure, like I said, what Warp's saving up for right here. Oh, and there it is. We have the answer. Here comes an Autarch drop right now. Warp Spider's now moving in as well, and honestly, between the Farseer and the Autarch, they might just be able to take out this Manticore anyways. Manticore getting one last strike. I just figured I'd go check that power farm, because that's where the strikes have been going. Guardsman actually repairing it faster than the Farseer can take it out. Nice play there by NoisyElmo. I expected that thing to go down, but unfortunately Warp Spiders had no Haywire Grenade, and the Farseer did not have her Singing Spear. Warp was saving up for that Autarch, but you can see still plenty of resource left. Could have purchased either of those options, really, as far as war gear, and finished that Manticore off now while they had the chance. It's already cost them a full power farm. You can see that's been 3 strikes that Manticore's just been hammering away at that power farm. And NoisyElmo is still sitting with the VP lead, 391 to 236. No extra war gear on that Commissar yet. Spirit Stones and Armor of Fortune, however, for the Farseer. Pretty common pair of war gears right there. And oh no, we're going to see a pair of grenades go down on that heavy weapons team. 2 members go down. It was actually very spread out, so it didn't take too terribly much damage from those grenades, and the Guardians taking tons of fire from all that stuff right there. Manticore strike coming down on that Shuriken squad. Actually kind of missing right there. It was a little more forward than it needed to be. And unfortunate for NoisyElmo, because it looks like Warp wasn't quite paying attention, didn't retreat the Shuriken until after the Manticore strike went down.
Stormtroopers reporting ready.
Stormtroopers upgraded with their assault kit, and I really feel like those Guardians need to be using their energy shields more effectively, because all of this range fire can be heavily mitigated by them. And oh, here we go, finally seeing that Singing Spear come onto the field. Warp Spires also coming up with their Aspect Bench coming onto the field. So now engaging those Warp Spires in melee, they fall back, continue pouring fire in those Guardsmen. Farseer looks like she had to fall back though, getting engaged by the Assault Kit Stormtroopers and the Commissar Lord.
Standing by for orders.
They'll tear us apart in melee.
So 2-0 Kep looking pretty good now for Warp, getting those VPs back in his favor. Altark running around with her Executioner, and a Lehman Russ tank coming on the field for NoisyElmo. That Chimera got canceled earlier on, and now NoisyElmo just heading straight into Tier 3 and getting that tank. And it looks like we're going to have a Sky Leap. Altark jumping out of there. Probably going to be coming back. And you can see NoisyElmo knows exactly what that means, too. Gets that heavy weapons team out of the building as quick as he can, but those Warp Spires doing excellent damage. If they warp in, they're probably going to take it out. I don't see this thing escaping with 20 HP. There goes the warp, and it is going down. And, oh man, some bits and one last fallen Guardsman. The last guy running home with that big gun and couldn't quite make it.
We are under attack.
So, oh man, those Stormtroopers got a little too close for comfort despite being cloaked. They were spotted by those Guardians. And now, with that Executioner, going to be able to take out and do some pretty nice damage to that Manticore. Manticore dropping a point-blank barrage. Look how fast those rockets drop at point-blank range. Unfortunately, that's going to be the last barrage for the game from that Manticore. Altark takes it out while it's firing. Says, go ahead and stand there. Nice-looking grenade. Oh, obliterating that squad of Guardsmen. Oh, man, lots of bits from that one. Squad does survive, but it is hurting. And with that tank coming on the field, Warp instantly responds with a Bright Lance weapons team. NoisyElmo now bringing a third Guardsman squad on the field. Oh no, now canceling it. I thought that was a bit curious at this stage in the game. 228 to 223. VP's just about evened out here. Now going to be swinging into Warp's favor. NoisyElmo was doing some great VP denial early on with those las turrets and a relatively small army other than that. Manticore was doing a great job, but got taken out. NoisyElmo left it out there a bit too long. Once that Altark dropped, he should have just pulled that Manticore back into his base, despite wanting to get that extra shot in there. Oh, another excellent kill by that Warp Spider squad, doing some nice damage. And this is, I like to see that. What happened right there is that that Warp used that Warp Spider squad and hung it way out up there, and just out of sight of anything that would cap that VP, and then once the enemy starts getting the cap in, you can just kind of hop in once they've looked away from it. Just wait, wait a few seconds after they start capping. And this Lehman Russ in a lot of trouble. I don't think it's getting out of there. One more shot from the Bright Lance. Down it goes. NoisyElmo in a big hurt suddenly after losing 2 major vehicles and a squad of Guardsmen all right in a row there. A couple nice plays by Warp. And suddenly it's not looking good for NoisyElmo at all. He's bringing on a Guardsman squad, but man, I don't think that's going to be enough to help. There's nothing worse than losing that vehicle after going into Tier 3 so quickly. You spend all that time investing your money to go Tier 3, and you bring out the vehicle, and if it doesn't do anything, then you effectively kind of wasted that 300 rec and 150 power, because your enemy, I mean, you can see Warp's still in Tier 2, but has a much more superior force at the moment because he didn't lose any of those squads. Whereas NoisyElmo paid so much for that Lehman Russ and it just didn't work out for him. So you just always got to remember, once you bring those tanks onto the field, especially against someone like Eldar who has snare grenades and things like that, I mean, you just got to be very careful with that tank. Anyways, NoisyElmo is still doing a good job of hanging in here. 183 to 197. Farseer's doing some damage to everybody. Trying to take out this Guardsman squad, but she does decide to retreat. Altark jumping in, though, and engaging the Stormtrooper is going to be doing heavy damage to them with that Executioner. Oh, no! And between the Bright Lance and Shuriken setup teams, they finish off NoisyElmo's fully upgraded Guardsman squad over there. Another grenade going down. NoisyElmo's still fighting, but I don't think there's anything he can do here. Chimera coming onto the field. And, man, just what a turnaround we've seen so rapidly here in these past couple minutes. NoisyElmo hurting, bringing a Chimera up, but it's just not going to matter. With the Farseer, with her Singing Spear, Haywire Grenades, and a Bright Lance on the field, there's really nowhere that Chimera's going to be able to go and have any lasting impact. It's going to get forced off wherever it goes on the map. 3-0 cap right now for Warp. VP's ticking away rapidly for NoisyElmo. A squad getting dropped onto the field. Here comes that Chimera. But I just don't think that there's anything NoisyElmo can do at this point in the game to really get some solid map control. You can see Guardians hitting Fleet of Foot, predicting the retreat from these Guardsmen right now. Looks like we're going to have a rocket barrage coming in here. Oh, there it goes. Shuriken completely taken out. And Warspires warp out of that second bombing run right there. Perfectly timed. Unfortunately, some more stuff going down right there. Right Lance. Oh, nice use of the Commissar Flare. 70 to 197. Everything's ticking away rapidly right now. NoisyElmo down once again to just one Guardsman squad. Chimera trying to back up and get out of firing range of that Bright Lance. Bright Lance repositioning. Guardsmen have to fall back. And that's going to be the game. NoisyElmo throws in the towel, knowing that there's just nothing he can do at this point. Lost too many squads there, all rapid fire right at the end. It was good neck and neck until that Manticore and Layman Russ went down. That was just too much for NoisyElmo to lose. Imperial Guard, of course, very dependent on their vehicles. Man, how about Rangers and Melee? That was lots of fun. I feel like this game was worth it just for that. Rangers harassing 2 or 3 different squads in Melee for the push from the bottom victory point there early on. And some good plays by Warp, really locking down, using those Warp Spires to snag a couple extra kills. And excellent play with the Altark in general as well. So anyways, there's your quick game for today. I'll have another one for you folks tomorrow. Be sure to check out the tournament tomorrow as well. And I'll have more content for you coming soon. This is Red-Rupee. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a comment, subscribe, whatever you do. I always appreciate it. I will catch you guys next time.